Hello everyone. We are studying the paper first, physical chemistry for the SYBSc class. In that we have studied the two chapters which are chemical kinetics and the volumetric analysis. Now we are going to start our third chapter from the physical chemistry. It is surface chemistry. Now let us start the surface chemistry. So what is the phenomenon of the surface chemistry? We know that it is a physical or chemical phenomenon that occurs at the interface or on the surface of or any interface of the two phases. It is known to be the study of the surface chemistry. So when we know that solid, liquid, gases are the three basic phases for the matter, and when we consider the interfaces of the two different phases, there occur some change, some chemical change or physical change in the forces may occur, and at this surface the imbalance forces are created, and accordingly the corresponding surface phenomena, it will leads to the unsaturation or the imbalancing of the molecular forces, and these forces leads to the phenomenon of adsorption or absorption. So surface chemistry chapter we are going to study the adsorption phenomena, which is very important, which occur between the two interface of the two phases. Now let us consider first the molecules which are present in the liquid, solid and gaseous matter. So in gaseous state what happens? The molecules are free, they are not very closer to each other. So there is no much binding is observed between the gas phase. In liquid phase the molecules becomes closer to each other, becomes compact as compared to the gaseous phase. They are bonded to each other. So we know that liquid will attain the geometry or attain the shape in which it is added. So liquid does not have any particular shape or size. It will take the shape in the container in which it is added. So in the liquid phase the forces are somewhat strong between the molecules as compared to the gaseous state, and in the liquid phase forces are more, so molecules are more tightly bonded to each other, they are closer to each other, and they having the intermolecular forces more as compared to the gaseous state. Now when we go for the solid state, further the molecules becomes more closer to each other and compact structure is generated as compared to liquid phase. So in the solid phase molecules are very close, present in close packed structure, so that will generate the particular geometry or shape for the solid compounds. So strong interactions are present in the solid compounds and they are tightly bonded to each other. So intermolecular forces are strong in the solid. But when we consider the molecules which are present on the surface of the solid or on the surface of the liquid, in that case it is observed that the forces are not equal, because when molecules are present on the surface, so at the surface what happens? The surface molecules, these are experiencing the attractive forces in downward direction. So from the bulk side, this molecule will experience the attractive forces. They will get attracted from the bulk side of the liquid, and above the liquid air may be there. So at that, so attraction it is less. So they are attracted to in the bulk side of the liquid. We can see here in diagram. So we have considered these two molecules. So this is the liquid which is taken in the container, and the molecules which are present in the liquid now, they having the different force of attraction, or there is different forces observed for the molecules which are present on the surface. So when we consider this molecule which is present in the bulk of this liquid, this will experience the equal forces because it is attracted by the other molecules from the all direction. So all the forces are balanced. So all the attractive forces from the all side, that will balances the forces for the molecule. But the molecule which are present on the surface of the liquid, for example for this molecule, so with the molecules which are present in this bulk, they will attract these molecules downward direction. Okay, but there is no liquid on the above side of this molecule. So what happens? There is no any forces are going to operate on this side. So there is not much attraction, or there is no attraction is experienced by this molecule. So this molecule is attracted downward by the other molecules, and there is no force above as it is liquid. It is not present above this molecule. So the unsaturation is observed, or imbalancing of the force is observed for this type of the molecules which are present on the surface. So that will leads to the strain in the molecule, or some state of the strain this molecule will experiences. So at this surface, this is found to be the surface phenomena. So this molecule will show slightly different types of the energy or experience the imbalance forces. Similarly, on the surface of solid, what happens? The molecules which are present inside the solid, they are compactly bonded and they will experience the equal amount of forces from the all the direction. But the molecules which are present on the surface of the solid, so they will experience different forces, because on one side another molecules are present that will attract these molecules which are present on the surface, but on the other side there is no other molecules or solid state is present here. So imbalance in the force will experienced by this molecule. So this imbalance or state of the strain, that will generate the different types of these phenomena which are comes under the surface chemistry. We know that in the water, therefore we are getting the surface which is attracted. This molecule on the surface, they will get attracted. Therefore when we take the water in any container like capillary or test tube, we are getting the slightly lower concave type of the surface is developed. Why this type of the surface is developed? Because we are not getting this type of surface which is straight line. The molecules are not arranged in this straight line. They will develop slightly curved structure. So this structure is developed due to the attractive forces which are present in this bulk liquid. Above this molecule, so this surface molecule experience the forces, attractive forces from the inside of the liquid, and we are getting the corresponding slightly curved structure at this surface. So the surface meniscus we can consider here, it is found to be lowered for the water, but it is different for the different types of the liquid. So depending upon the viscosity of the liquid, it will varies, and again colored compound, it will shows the upper type of the meniscus. So this is due to the surface phenomenon. Now let us consider some examples that will shows the difference in the properties. So when we consider the adsorption phenomena, absorption and adsorption. These are the different two phenomena, adsorption and the absorption. We know that the absorption means we consider the example of the sponge, and if we dip that sponge into the water or into the ink or any liquid, so what happens? The molecules of the liquids or the ink, that will thoroughly get entered throughout the body of the sponge. So they will get entered into the throughout body of the sponge. So that type of the phenomena, it is called absorption. That means water will get absorbed in the sponge. But on the other hand, if we consider the surface phenomena, like example acetic acid, it is taken with the charcoal. So if we add the charcoal in the acetic acid and if we filter it, it is observed that the concentration of the acetic acid is decreased because some of the acetic acid molecule will get adsorbed on the charcoal. So that phenomenon, it is called as the adsorption. So when we consider the adsorption phenomenon, it is surface phenomena, it is bulk phenomena, because the molecules, liquid particles, they will get entirely located themselves in the throughout body of the corresponding another substance. And in adsorption, the one compound or one type of the substance or compound, it will get attached or it will get located on the surface of the another compound. So adsorption is the phenomenon or the property in which one compound will get collected on the surface of the another compound. So the compound which is going to be adsorbed, it is called as the adsorbate. And the surface area on which another molecule is going to be adsorbed, that molecule or that compound, it is called as the adsorbent. So adsorbent is the compound or the substance on which another molecule, gas molecules or liquid molecule will get adsorbed. So it is called adsorbent. So in case of the acetic acid with charcoal, so if we mix the charcoal with the acetic acid, then see molecules of the acetic acid will get adsorbed on the surface of the charcoal. So charcoal, if we consider this charcoal, and the acetic acid molecules will get located here on the surface. So charcoal will act as the adsorbent and the acetic acid act as the adsorbate. So adsorbate, it will get adsorbed on the surface of adsorbent. Now let us consider different types of the adsorption examples. So when we consider the solid surface area for the adsorption, on that surface area the liquid molecules or liquid compound may get dispersed or may get attached or may get adsorbed. Liquid or gaseous molecule can also show the adsorption property. Now when we consider the types of the adsorption, gas solid adsorption may take place, liquid solid adsorption may be takes place, or gas liquid adsorption may occur. So first is the gas solid adsorption. So in that case, the gas will get adsorbed on the solid surface. For example, sulfur dioxide, it will get adsorbed on the charcoal. Second is the liquid solid. So already we have seen the acetic acid will get adsorbed on the charcoal. Third is the gas liquid. So oxygen gas can easily, when comes in the contact with the mercury, so it will get adsorbed really on the surface of the mercury. So these are the three types of the adsorption examples. Now we can consider the adsorption process here. We can differentiate between the adsorption and the absorption. Now in this case, adsorption occurs on the surface of the solid here. It is not get located in throughout the body of this solid compound. So only molecules will get adsorb on the surface of the solid. Absorption takes place. When absorption takes place, molecules are found to be get entered into the body of the adsorbent. So example of the sponge in the water, it is the example of absorption. All the water molecules will get entered into the body of the sponge. And adsorption, when acetic acid molecules are adsorbed on the charcoal. So this is the example of the adsorption. Now different types of the material, adsorption properties very important in different types of the application or chemical processes. So different types of the adsorbent are used or surfaces are used to adsorb the another compound or the gas or the liquid compound. So which type of the material can be used in the adsorption process? So we are using activated alumina, then silica gel, then natural zeolite, synthetic zeolite, then activated alumina, ion exchange resins, sodium bicarbonate and potassium permanganate. So these are the examples on which they will act as the adsorbent for this process. They will provide the surface area for the adsorption. So this is about the introductory part of the adsorption. Now let us go for the difference in the two types or the types of the adsorption. Let us see the types of the adsorption. So there are two different types of the adsorption are given. First is the physical adsorption and second is the chemical adsorption, or it is also called as the chemisorption. And the first type, it is also called as the van der Waals adsorption. So these two types of the adsorption are given, and for this property we can differentiate between these two adsorption. So physical adsorption generally occurs with the molecules that will shows the weak forces of the interaction or weak forces that are bound to the surface of the adsorption. So when molecules, there is adsorption process occurs, so molecules will get bind itself to the surface of the adsorption. So adsorbent. So in this process what happens? Gas molecules or liquid molecules will get bind, or they will form the weak interaction with the surface area. So this interaction at the bonding, this is very weak, and these are called as the van der Waals forces. So molecules are get bonded on the surface area by weak van der Waals forces. So this is called as the physical adsorption. While on the other hand, when we consider the chemical adsorption, so these molecules will get bind to the surface by strong forces which are similar to the chemical bond. So force of attraction, it is very strong. So chemical bond like interaction, strong interactions are formed in the chemical adsorption. Again in physical adsorption, the heat which is heat evolved during the adsorption process, it is very less. It is nearly up to 10 kilocalorie per mole. But in case of the chemical adsorption, as the stronger bond is formed, so heat evolved, it is higher. It is nearly 20 to 100 kilocalorie per mole. So high amount of the heat is evolved during the chemical adsorption or chemisorption, because bonding is stronger as compared to the physical adsorption. Now physical adsorption, it is found to be a reversible process, and multi-layered adsorption may occur. So we know that when molecules get bind to surface, the one layer is formed, again another or second layer or third layer may be formed. So multi-layered adsorption, it is found in the physical adsorption. So it is non-specific in nature, but the extent of the adsorption, it is found to be specific in nature. While in chemical adsorption, only the monolayer of the molecules, it is formed in the adsorption process, and it is found to be highly specific in nature. So chemical adsorption, it is found to be specific and it is irreversible. Generally it is irreversible, while the physical adsorption, it is found to be reversible process. As the forces are weak, van der Waals forces are operating, therefore the reversible process may occur. So formation or binding of the molecule to the surface, it is found to be adsorption. So in the first step adsorption occur, and in the second step desorption may occur. So desorption, it is the removal of the gas molecules or the liquid molecules from the surface area. So these two processes simultaneously occur. So reversible process, it is involved in the physical adsorption, while in the chemical adsorption process is not found to be reversible. It is irreversible because the strong bonding is operating in the chemical adsorption. Now when we consider the enthalpy for the chemical adsorption, it is very high, and enthalpy for the physical adsorption, it is very less. It is nearly 20 to 40 kilojoule for physical adsorption and nearly 100 to 200 for kilojoules per mole for the chemical adsorption. So high amount of the enthalpy is observed for the chemical adsorption. Now when we consider the change in temperature, so physical adsorption occurs at the higher amount. It occurs rapidly at the lower temperature and the low pressure. So at the low temperature and the low pressure are the optimum or good condition for the physical adsorption. But if we increase the temperature, then adsorption goes on decreasing or desorption takes place in case of the physical adsorption. And there is no any activation energy is needed for the physical adsorption. But when we consider the chemical adsorption or the chemisorption process, in that case at higher temperature the bonds are very strong, so it is irreversible process. So even though we increase the temperature up to certain limit, there is no desorption occurs and activation energy is provided to the molecule, so they will form the more bond and different types of the compound may be formed on the surface area. So chemical adsorption, it is found to be different from the physical adsorption. Now in the next lecture we will study the different theories for the adsorption, that is Freundlich adsorption isotherm and Langmuir adsorption isotherm. So that's all for today. Thank you.